In today's video, we're going to discuss the overall market once again. It made a massive move last week on Friday, and we're going to discuss what to expect for next week. I'm also going to be sharing with y'all some stocks to keep on watch for tomorrow. All right, let's dive right into the charts right off the bat. We got the SPY over here, and in the last few videos, I have been giving y'all warnings about how the bottoming process of the SPY can be extremely choppy. All right, and that's what we've been seeing. First, we had the initial drop on the 3rd, followed by some chop on Wednesday, Thursday, and then even on Friday before we had a massive surge upwards. All right, now again, the chop is due to this gap on the weekly chart getting filled. I warned you guys about this gap all since we were at 4,500, and now that we got here, it's been very choppy, and that's expected. Again, day trading is a lot more favored than swing trading during these types of price action. All right, now before we even talk about what to expect next week, let's look at exactly the reason why the massive surge happened to begin with. I gave y'all, I think in my previous video, I showed you guys this bull flag right here that I was watching for a break. It took like an extra day to finally break out and run. All right, we're going to zoom deeply into the chart. That way you can see the patterns from the small time frame to the big time frame. All right, now an opportunity that y'all could have taken advantage of happened on the SPY. We're gonna go on the SPY itself, like not the SPY futures, just SPY. All right, now with SPY, the first opportunity was on the 1 minute. The pattern was very small, but it was still there. All right, and it's right over here, and it's quite consistent with a few stocks that started running at the same time. The first one was right there. There was this bull flag right there. All right, after the drop, we had the bull flag, and then we had the breakout right here. All right, now this is for the SPY. Now let's look at QQQ. QQQ had something slightly different. It had a bullish rectangle on here. Not quite as slanted. This one is a bit more horizontal. All right, but the structure is still there. Two patterns on two different indices, and it started running at the exact same time, right when the morning high broke right here. I missed the initial entry on this one. I was expecting that it would break out, but I didn't get in. I didn't take a trade at this specific time. I missed it, so I was just looking for anything else to take a day trade on. And as I was looking for stuff, I looked at the third indices, and the third indices, again, we got the fourth. We got the SPY, we got QQQ, we got the Dow Jones, and then we got the Russell. All right, and the Russell showed us this thing right here. We're gonna zoom in, and I was looking at the Russell after I missed out on the initial move at around 9:30. I was waiting to see if it would show something nice, and it definitely did. It definitely did. Right at 10:05. I was watching this thing. Again, this is how it was playing out. I was watching it for a break of that 171.15 on the 1 minute chart. This is in the ascending triangle. All right, and as soon as this thing actually popped up, I ended up getting calls on this one. I ended up getting calls right over here at 10:10. I got the 172 calls that expired on Monday for 70 cents. And the price target on this one was 172.5. And I held, and I started selling at 10:30 for $100 per contract. And then at 10:45, I ended up getting rid of all of my contracts for $170 when it got really close to the price target right over here. All right, so when this thing got to 173, I ended up getting out right here. I missed the top by around 80 cents, but that's all right though. Again, I thought it would be peaking at 173, but it went a little bit higher before chopping sideways. So these are the few opportunities that occurred and why the overall market was just running higher and higher and higher. Another setup that showed itself on Friday was Microsoft's. Microsoft had this thing right there. All right, so this is Microsoft. They had a bullish trend on here, and this one quite simple, quite easy. When everything started to just run, this one also took off, and this one actually ran throughout the whole day. It has more room to go, but it has to take a little bit of a dive. And I say that because, again, if you look at the indices are down by like 0.78%. Therefore, Microsoft is probably gonna open at like 324. All right. And initially in the morning, what I do expect is for anybody who is still holding long on Microsoft, who got super greedy, I expect them to kind of panic. And that panic is going to lead to a sharp drop to 320. Again, I expect a retest of that top line right over here before we see some type of bounce right from 320 and back up to 325. And I expect the market to just play some games. Again, after these massive moves like we've seen on Friday, it's not uncommon for us to see like 2 or 3 consecutive dojis. All right, so tomorrow, Tuesday, might be dojis. Like if we're lucky enough to see a nice setup to the bullish or the bearish side, then we might see another big candle. But I'm leaning more towards a doji where the range of the stocks are not that massive, at least not compared to the one that we've seen on Friday. All right, so that's my thoughts on Microsoft and the opportunity that was on Microsoft. Again, for those of you who may be new to trading and may be new to trading patterns, again, that's kind of what I was seeing on Friday. Let's look at another setup. Another setup was on Tesla. And Tesla, again, this one I gave you guys on Wednesday. I told you guys to watch this one for a long, to set your alerts at 250. And if that was to break out, then we could see a run to 257.5. It went all the way up to 262 and then dropped to the upper line right here. Again, you see this right there? This is what I'm expecting for Microsoft. Microsoft had this move right here, and right now the futures are down. So expect Microsoft to test the line before potentially seeing the bounce. It might chop a little bit, just like this one, before presenting an opportunity for a bounce. All right, and let's just zoom into Tesla. So Tesla, again, this is the type of opportunities that I'm talking about. This one had a bullish pennant on Friday. Another day trading opportunity, just in case you missed the entries on like the other ones. Again, as the day goes by, like new opportunities just keep showing up and giving longs new opportunities to get in for a day trade. So this one was another one. Where is Tesla going to go? I think Tesla has room to run, but it won't run tomorrow. Again, I think it's gonna run on Tuesday. Set your alerts at 264, maybe even lower, like at 263, and just wait for the bell to ring. If we have a dip tomorrow, it's not gonna be that deep. It's not gonna drop to 250. Like it's probably gonna stop right here at 255 before we bounce again. And I think it's just gonna cook until that alert rings. And when that rings, these short sellers right here are going to get very, very worried. And the one who are quick to realize that the price is about to test 275, they're going to start covering. And then like it's kind of going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy where the price is actually going to get to 275 and potentially to a squeeze, like a little pop to 280. So watch Tesla at some point this week. It's going to break 264 and run to 275. I don't know exactly when. Again, that's why I'm making this video, to get you guys prepared for that. All right, now the last stock that I want to discuss in today's video, that one is showing a bullish pivot on the daily. It's XPEV, and XPEV is looking like this. All right, it broke out, I think this is last week. Yeah, it broke out over between, I think it's the Thursday and a Friday. Yeah, it broke out between a Thursday and a Friday of 2 weeks ago. Played a whole lot of games throughout last week, right? And now it looks like it actually wants to start making its move. So keep this one on watch for a move to $20. I don't know when it's gonna get there, but it hasn't failed yet for me to be bearish on it. The breakout is holding that line. It just needs a little bit more volume in order to get to $20 and maybe even higher. All right, so that's XPEV. There's one more stock. I forgot to mention PEP has earnings, and PEP took a dive. This one is looking quite nice. It's looking nice, but at the same time you have to be cautious. Earnings is right around the corner. Like, the best case scenario is that it doesn't move at all. The best case scenario, like if it doesn't move and it just stays between 158 and 164 after earnings, if it holds that price, then expect a bounce. Again, this is very oversold, so keep this one in watch. Just like, again, keep Disney on watch. I've mentioned that one last week when it was at like $81, and it's at $83 right now. It ended up the week strong, so I don't think it's that quite done yet, and I don't think Pepsi is also done. So I think the rebounds on these two are coming soon. So that's my thoughts on all of these stocks, and that is the end of the video. Again, do not forget to demolish the like button as always. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you'd like to be part of a private Discord community, you can find that as the first link in the description of the video below. If you haven't followed me on social media, you can find me at NGumah at Patternology Lab on Instagram and on Twitter. And lastly, if you're interested in getting some free stocks with Webull, you can use the third link in the description of the video below. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is NGumah with Patternology Lab, where we trade patterns and patterns only. And I will see all of you in the next video.